Easy here. Hi guys and gals. Well, hope you're all well. And it is Monday tag day, as you know the routine by now. I'm in a different place actually. I'm on the north side of the house, but it's also, I guess it's also the noisiest side of the house because that's the road in back of us and we have a bus line. But anyway, it is Monday. It's tag day and I've been working outside and I'm hot. Yes. But now, let's start with Jasmine's Monday 5-question tag. Hi there, Jasmine. Hope you're doing well. So let's start it off with question 1. A hobby you enjoyed doing as a kid. Oh goodness. Well, one of my hobbies was probably the same as Jasmine's, was fishing. Is fishing a hobby? I guess it is, isn't it? Yeah. And used to do that a lot as a kid. We would go off on our bikes. We'd have some baskets with us or things like that, and we'd bring back the fish. It would be a mixture of trout, perch, and catfish. Those are the 3 types that we would get. The catfish were kind of like a hidden specialty. When you knew where they were, you didn't tell anybody. No. And another hobby that I had, I guess that's a hobby as well, is I loved reading comic books. We had lots of comic books, superheroes, and mostly superheroes, but we also had more, I was going to say, different type of comics like Archie's. Maybe some of you remember that, Archie, Jughead, and all of those. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, we used to like reading those a lot, actually. And since the comic books were pretty much always in English, I had a few of the neighbor boys. Actually, there was a girl as well, I just remembered now, that was into comics, but they didn't have comics in French in the village at the time. So they would come over and I would translate the comics for them. It would usually end up actually with a kind of a superhero game, as you know, we were kids anyway. Okay, so question 2. Do you still play with toys? Oh gee, I wish I did. I guess I have my adult toys, which are, my cameras and all that. That's kind of like a toy, isn't it? But good old toys, aside from maybe some of my old books, but that's not a toy. So I'd like to say yes, but aside from every now and then when I play with the grandkids, the answer is really no. What do I have? I still have my Batmobile from when I was in grade school, and every now and then I like to roll it on the ground. So I guess that probably counts, Yeah, so that's the closest I get to actually, I think, playing with toys these days. Yeah. Question 3. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? I've never wanted to be an animal. I can't quite see. If I was an animal, though, I wouldn't mind being a bird, but a bird like an eagle or something like, a big bird. Not Big Bird, not the Sesame Street Big Bird, but I'd like to be a big, strong bird so that I could fly high up and get a view on what was down below. And I mean, if you look at eagles, and I have really lousy eyes, but eagles don't. And you hear stories about that eagles are able to see the fish as they jump down and go fishing. Hey, that's a good idea. I could be an eagle because I could go fishing. I don't know. There's something about an eagle. It's funny because the Canadians don't really have eagles in their logos or flags, not that I know of. We will have beavers, I suppose. But both the citizens of the United States and Mexico have eagle. The Mexicans actually have it in their flag, and the Americans, well, I guess as we all know, the Americans, as they like to call themselves, we're all North Americans in that respect. So the people of the United States, they would, the eagle is a big thing. Okay. So what was that? That was question 3. Okay. Question 4. Oh goodness. What was your first car? I was going to almost say it was Fred Flintstone's car. No, what I mean by that, it was, what year was it? It was a Chevy Nova. I had bought that. I was at university, and the car had been owned, well, it was a Japanese postdoc that sold it to me. It was in pretty bad shape. There was a lot of holes in it, but I got it for cheap. And because he was going back to Japan, so I bought it from him. I think, when I'm not wrong, he bought it from he might have bought it from another Japanese. I'm not quite certain. But anyway, all I know is I bought it from a Japanese guy. I can remember his first name, Takeshi Kawamoto. So it was a Chevy Nova, and when I brought it to the body shop, my uncle's good friend had a body shop, and so I brought it over there, and I said, make it look nice. It was my first car, and he knew I was my uncle's nephew. They were good friends, and I remember him saying to my uncle after he had, taken off, sanded it down and everything, and he said, there's more holes in this thing than there is in Swiss cheese. So at the end I had a putty car, but the thing is that when we got rid of it, when it was probably like 3-4 years after I bought it, there was, well, like I say, Flintstone's car, because there was only like the rug on it that was keeping the water out, so to say. We had to put when we put things in the boot or the trunk, depending on which country you're in, we would have to put plastic bags over the suitcases or stuff like that, because water would get into the car. It didn't start if there was a hint of humidity, and that is summer or winter. If any of you have lived in North America, and especially in Canada, you know that in winter we plug the cars in so they heat the motor block. So I would have to plug the car sometimes in the middle of summer just to clean it, just to warm it up. We were never, I don't know how many times I went to a garage, and they were never able to solve that. By the time I got rid of it, it was a 2-door car, but only one door could open, because if you opened the other one, it fell to its side. Over here in these days in Switzerland, they would have forced me to get rid of the car. I remember I was living in Quebec and in Canada, and maybe they do now, but nobody did then. Yeah. I think everything went wrong with that car. I had problems down in the United States where it didn't start and things. Oh, yeah, that was my first car. It was almost enough for me to stop ever thinking of having a car again. Yeah, a Chevy Nova. Yeah. Every time I think of that car, I think of it when I just got it back, and it was new, it was nice and red, and didn't start. Yeah. Okay, question 5 and last. What makes you happy? Talking about my Chevy Nova. Oh, well, I've said it many times, my family, my grandkids and so on. But, talking about things like we're doing right now makes me happy. Doing vlogs, making videos actually makes me happy. Why would we still do it? There must be something in it, and really, a lot of times what makes me happy is effectively being with good friends around a table, having a drink, having a meal. There's very much something about, a meal and a family, and just, bantering and having fun and having the grandkids running around. earlier years ago, it was having the kids run around. We were with friends. Now it's, you know, friends have the same situation as us. So every now and then we are with the friends, but that's it. Yeah, and that is question 5 and last. So thank you very much, Jasmine, and hope you have a good week. And I'll be DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.